Hello, thanks for being here today. We're super excited to kick off our home opener versus Morgan State this weekend. This season, we have lots of big goals, and we're taking each meet one by one, day by day in practice. And I'd be lying if I would say a national championship isn't in our hearts, and that's what we're setting towards. And just each day, we're taking it one step at a time, and we're just really excited to get things going.
How, in terms of what you're looking for in openers, how sharp does everything need to be? Do you anticipate having kind of a build over the course of the season, or do you really want to see things refined right off the bat?
Sure. Home opener, I think, is one to get the wiggles out, so to speak. The goal would be to be as close to perfection as possible, as always. But I think this meet is really about getting out there for the first time, having fun, getting that bond together with each other, figuring out what we all need to feel really confident on the mat. And then I think from there, we go straight into Baylor. So I think it's really turning it on and making sure that we're honing in for each meet, but just getting a little bit better each time.
You guys all healthy?
We're all healthy. Yes. Knock on wood.
What have you seen out of Morgan State? They already had a meet, so what kind of advantage is that?
Yeah, they saw Quinnipiac. They did pretty well. They're a pretty new team, but I think they have a lot of fight and a lot of grit within them, and they have a really great coaching staff who's really passionate about the sport. And so they're no team to discount. They're really good. They're on their stuff. And so I think for us, it's just going to be focusing on what we have to do and, hyping ourselves up.
When you have national championship goals, and when you have Baylor next on the schedule, and when you want to take each meet one by one, how do you balance that, knowing that a really big test of something that's going to say a lot about your team's potential looms real soon? How do you balance all that?
Yeah, I think for me as the coach, it's easy to get ahead of myself and think about that championship. But in theory, we're seeing the number one team that second meet right out the gates, and I think it's all about what we do in the practice courts. It's all about how we train mentally, and I think we have a really good group this year. And so I think that if we can just continue to focus on what we're doing and not so much on what the other teams are doing, I think that's going to put us in a good position.
You got this all freshman Acro 5 that Bella was talking about. Other people keep raving about. You got to have some confidence to put two freshmen out there. What's that like?
They're awesome. I trust them 100%. They're really good at what they do. They come from an acrobatic gymnastics background. So this is in their blood. They've been doing it for a really long time. Sure, acrobatics and tumbling is new to them, but competing is not. And so I'm really confident that they're going to be really successful this season.
And just kind of like as a top programmer, you've got some responsibility for growth of the sport. There's this NCAA emerging sport tagline. How much do you focus on that? What do you see from it right now?
Sure. I think it's not something that we focus on day to day, but it is something in the back of our minds that when we are recruiting, we're preaching, you're going to be a part of history and you could be a part of this really great opportunity to not only be an Oregon Duck, but also to pave the way for those coming behind you in a sport that started at the collegiate level and is almost there to the NCAA championship status. And so I think just continuing to be grateful for where we're at, but also knowing that we have a lot of work to do is something that I think keeps us pushing and keeps us innovating throughout.
Say these are our strengths, and then other areas where you say, I'm stoked to see these other elements prove themselves as strengths?
Yeah, for sure. I think right now we're really strong in compulsory event, pyramid event, tumbling event. We have really high start values. I think we have some room for growth, but I'm really excited to kind of push those three out right out the gates. I think we have a lot of growth in our acro event. We're doing some new elements that we have never competed before. And so I wouldn't say they're right where I want them to be just yet, but I'm really excited to get them out on the competition floor and to kind of build upon that. And same with toss event. I think we have some new tops out there, actually 2 tops that have never competed tosses. So I'm really excited to see them get out there too.
Who are those two?
Rachel Furlong and Haley Ellis.